Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are a brand new subscriber or a brand new viewer. My name is Kyle and today we are finally going to be talking about The Batman. It's finally come out in theaters. In this movie, Robert Pattinson takes over the role as the Caped Crusader as he hunts down the Riddler and of course corruption in Gotham City with the help of Police Commissioner Jim Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright. And by trying to take down all this corruption, there are secrets that get revealed deep within, and if these secrets come out into the open, will the masked vigilantes still remain on the side of good? Batman has always been one of my all-time favorite characters ever since I was a child. I love the fact that he is somebody that takes the tragedy of his childhood and uses that to fight crime and corruption in Gotham City. With all the bright and colorful cape superheroes, he is the man that hunts in the night. He's somebody that beats the crap out of criminals, and he's somebody that wants to post his name out there as someone to be feared. So naturally, I was incredibly excited to see this movie, alongside the fact that it's directed by Matt Reeves, who helmed both War and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, two incredibly fantastic movies and brutally violent movies as well. The man definitely understands how to film action sequences. So when you put all of those in the equation, you have Batman in it as well, and his biggest inspiration for the movie is David Fincher's Seven, one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Shut up and take my money!
And this will of course be a spoiler-free review. If you want me to do a spoiler review, leave that in the comments down below, but let's get into this review. I think a lot of people are going to ask themselves, we're having another Batman movie, what's going to be new about this version? What's updated? Well, there's quite a few as a matter of fact. The first one being Gotham City itself. It feels demented in this film. This version of Gotham City is brutal and uncompromising, and everybody looks like they're ready to just chop each other's heads off. The opening scene to this movie encapsulates my thoughts so perfectly. This movie to me is worth the price of admission in its opening 5 minutes alone. And then there's the titular character himself, Batman, played by Robert Pattinson. Now, as a kid, whenever I heard that name, it was not in the greatest of aspects. However, Robert Pattinson, since his Twilight days, has proven himself to be a fantastic actor. Look no further than the movie Good Time. But I'm always skeptical about an actor playing Batman. I definitely was when Ben Affleck took over the role back in 2015. But fortunately here, he's great. I was incredibly impressed with both his Bruce Wayne and Batman. Now, with every iteration of Batman, there has always been an incredible composer to come along and create an amazing theme for the character. From Danny Elfman, to Shirley Walker, to Elliot Goldenthal, to Hans Zimmer, and now we can officially add Michael Giacchino to the list. Not only does it encapsulate the fear that this man just displays to the world, but it also displays both the anger and bitterness and hatred he has towards corruption in Gotham City. But an element that was missing in previous Batman films is the fact that he is a detective, also known as the world's greatest detective. And what I love about this movie is that Batman spends a lot of the time, well, doing detective work. For anyone that's been on my channel for a while or saw my senior thesis film, Kill Me Dead, you guys know I love the genre film noir. And this movie has so many elements that encapsulate not just classic film noir, but neo-noir. I was absolutely absorbed watching this movie, despite the fact that it's a very dirty and dingy and musty looking movie, but it does such a great job of bringing the darkness of Gotham City to life. The movie has one hell of a supporting cast. Some of the actors I didn't even know were in the movie, and for this review, I actually want to refrain from the actors I personally didn't know so that it's not a spoiler for anyone. But let's talk about the people I do know. Jeffrey Wright is amazing in every single performance I've ever seen him do, and he once again is in top form as Commissioner Gordon. I would love to see him continue playing this role for the next 20 years. I also thought Zoe Kravitz was a great Catwoman. I loved the interaction she had with Batman, and I like the fact that she is a very powerful character. She is kick-ass in all of the action scenes, and of course, she's Zoe Kravitz, so she looks great, but I definitely really liked her performance. You also have Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, or the Penguin. This is one of those roles I have known about ever since 2019, I believe, when they first showed a picture of him in the costume with all the weight he gained. Now, some of it is makeup, but I heard that he gained, I think, at least 30 pounds to play this role, and he is completely transformed here. So you have the incredibly atmospheric setting, you have the incredible actors. Now let's talk about the action sequences. They are riveting. I was absolutely impressed with really every single sequence in this movie. The hand-to-hand combat sequences with Batman, I think are the best we've ever seen. Now, there are incredible car chases in movies, from Bullet, The Italian Job, Ronin, Mad Max 2, Mad Max Fury Road. There is a car chase in this movie that, my hand to God, like how I said with the opening scene, the car chase in this movie is worth the price of admission alone. Seeing it on that massive IMAX screen with that incredible surround sound, it made the scene. It 100% was breathtaking. When you hear that a movie is going to be 3 hours, your natural reaction is, well, why does it have to be that long? There are definitely movies I've seen, some of them in theaters, where I ask myself, why does it have to be this long? Why? They could have trimmed so much stuff and we would have been fine with it. This movie earns its near 3 hour runtime because the story is just that damn good. And it requires a lot of setup. However, that setup has an incredible amount of payoff as the movie keeps going on. Without giving anything away, there are a couple of choices made in this movie that have incredibly dire consequences. And you're sitting on the edge of your seat wondering, are these things actually going to come to fruition? And if they do, what is this going to mean for Batman? Can he really save the city? I would say, after talking about all those positives, I do have two gripes with the movie. And one of them has to deal with its references to the movie Seven. I definitely think throughout the first half of the movie, there were a couple of subtle nods to that movie, and I was very pleased with them. However, during the third act of this movie, some of those subtle nods became a bit on the nose, and some of them became very similar to the plot of that movie, and even certain lines felt like they were lifted from David Fincher's movie. And my other issue is on the character of Alfred. I wish we saw more of him because he's played by Andy Serkis, who worked with Matt Reeves as the lead character in both War and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I was kind of surprised with his lack of screen time. I wished he was on screen more. Is The Batman the best Batman movie we've had? Well, only time will tell. But what I can say is that this movie definitely ranks in the top three. I'd say The Dark Knight is number one, and this one to me is like neck and neck with Batman Begins. Like, it's really, really close. I do think the action in the movie makes it a step above Batman Begins, but definitely it's very close. However, like I said, time will tell. I've only seen the movie just tonight. I definitely have to see the movie again, and I definitely will see it again and again and again, because this movie is not only worth my time, it is worth all of your times. I give this movie my highest of recommendations. Please go see this movie because it is excellent. Thank you all so much for watching. If you stuck to the end of this video, definitely be sure to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. All the links to my social media pages can be found in that description box below, as well as my new business website, kjgpictures.com, and business email. Any inquiries, also send them in that description box below. Thank you all so much as always for watching, and stay tuned.